And you can see, hopping in directly to our featured match, what we all want to see. It's Optic Gaming versus Proton.
Oh, this is it. Proton Gaming have some changes that we must talk about. A week before roster lock, we saw them drop Manny and pick up the man at the top of that scoreboard. Kuhlect, going to be the new player on the block for this team. Keep an eye out on him and seeing if he is the change that is needed for this team to have success.
It's crazy. This team has gone through so many changes. I talk about it often, but my casting career started with this squad, a squad that stayed together for many years, but decided to make two large changes. First, removing Soul Snipe, who we see on that Shopify Rebellion roster, and now removing Manny for Kuhlect at the top of the Proton Gaming list. But it's all about Optic here. It's TriPPPeY on your screen. They've got to lock in on the setup. The spawns come out onto C, and it's TriPPPeY that first point of contact. His objective here, put damage in and play his life. As simple as it sounds, it's not so simple when you have a very aggressive Proton Gaming.
TriPPPeY's getting a little bit mixy with it. Now, nothing happens on screen, right? He doesn't get a kill. He doesn't even get to shoot his gun. But that's Optic Gaming wanting to be very aggressive in this game. He cuts through the middle of the map while it's even numbers. Optic Gaming, I think, not giving that much respect to Proton. If they're going to be cutting through the middle of the map like that, it cost TriPPPeY his life that time around. But it honestly makes me a little bit happy to see Optic Gaming playing a very fast and aggressive game early on against Proton.
Yeah, it feels like the meta has shifted, and Optic has, adapted to that meta. Formal with the ball here. Inside of PD, it's 2 down for the side of Proton Gaming. They do get the red room spawns, but TriPPPeY quick to get a double there. And that'll be some more ball time now for Optic Gaming and Camo coming up.
And so far, Optic's well set up to get this camouflage. You see Lucid just trailing, making sure to watch over it. He's going to be the one that needs to capitalize, but that camo was moved out towards benches. I'm not sure if it was burned. Optic might still have an opportunity to get towards it, but they're content, right? While Proton's still fighting away for that camouflage, Formal's just laughing at the back of tower, getting time and laying down damage whenever it's needed. Oh, don't do it. Formal from across the map, laser struck down.
This is what makes him a champion, right? The fact that he's able to get that ball time, has that top tower position, and able to do so much damage to any push that Proton tosses towards him, and he stays alive as well. If he gets his kill on the camo, my goodness gracious, it's Taulek who ends up besting him in that situation, but it's Optic Gaming with a 57-16 lead in round number 1.
Well, if there's one player for Proton Gaming that can try to help conquer Optic in this game, it's going to be Taulek, right? He's had a phenomenal tournament thus far, top 10 in the KDs throughout pool play, always in that top 10 KD conversation whenever he shows up to a tournament. Just has a natural nose to get into the gunfights, to get that damage down range. He's going to have to be the Optic killer today, and that might be too much of a title for him. I want to see him really step up to the plate. Right now, double positive. We'll see if he's going to be able to keep that momentum throughout the game.
Well, you can see Proton holding steady as best they can, but the push from Optic comes in once again. It's going to be 2 down, though, for Optic. It'll be a numbers advantage here for Proton, but off a spawn, it's Deadzon, the newest member of this Optic Gaming roster, pushing in aggressively. Has to create some time for his team here, but he's able to do enough damage to get the first kill onto Druk. That opens things up, but the question is, can he get more? And no, shut down immediately.
Well, Optic hasn't shut down the outlet that Proton has to the left. Taulek's basically secured a rotation with Druk spawning all the way on that perimeter. LastShot knows that he has safety to his left side. Optic didn't have any numbers and any sort of assurance on the cutoff. Instead, they're going to have to run through the middle of the map to get there, where Proton's going to be well set up to defend.
While Deadzon makes a singular push towards the bottom of C, and it ends up paying off. He gets 2 down on this side of Proton, but at what cost? It was 3 dead momentarily here for Optic Gaming. And Lucid doing all he can, and you know exactly what that is going to be. It's a double, almost a triple. Ends up playing his life, still utilizing this camo to its fullest potential.
Lucid's always smart about waiting for the right opportunity. He has that natural sense of timing, understanding when he can be revealed, able to get that double kill. And what I love about it, he focuses first on that objective, throws it back towards his teammate, says, hey, let's finish this off. Don't let Proton get any space without us earning some time on this game.
He's trying to make sure that they can't get that space, staying at the top of C, but Proton end up getting 2 kills. It's Kuhlect now, trying to prevent the rotation. Looks like that ball does get played towards that bottom B stairs area, and the spawns come out on the PD side, so it's up to Kuhlect and Taulek here. The duo in tandem trying to make sure that Optic cannot get space on the B street. Lots of damage goes in. Kuhlect gets the first kill. And Optic's still pushing up, though. It's up to Kuhlect here to get Formal. This is a big piv by Kuhlect.
Oh, this is the biggest fight of the game, to be honest, and how Formal comes out with it. If Formal dies right there, Proton has an easy hold for the rest of the game. Instead, Formal's going to make this much harder for Proton. You're going to feel a lot of pressure on that right side. And who else but Deadzon to be on the turf, perfectly timed flank. He's causing mayhem. He's isolated on the island. The rest of Proton have to deal with him. Optic Gaming break in from the backside. That all starts with Deadzon, his well-timed flank that prevents Proton from ever being comfortable.
It's the domino effect. That 1 kill from Formal turns lots of time for Optic Gaming, but Proton have answered back immediately. It's Druk here with the camo. We've seen Optic. They had the last 2 camos in their hands, but Druk getting this one. He might be able to make an impact on this push that's about to occur. You see Taulek and Kuhlect on that B street side. It's a 2-on-2 push here. And that's it. Druk is the last player alive. He has to play this ball. He doesn't do it. It's a C-side setup for Optic.
This is going to be tough for Proton. They're going to have maybe one more chance at this push. It's going to be Taulek and LastShot pushing up on the right side, but it's a red gun from Lucid that tears them down. Nothing they can do. Hopeless as Proton desperately tries to get to this ball, but they just keep seeing the respawn screen. 1v1. Taulek trying to get back towards the help. Lucid doing his best with the red gun. Proton, they're not out of it yet. 5 seconds for Optic Gaming to win this game, but you're gonna have to take that ball out of the cold, dead hands of Proton. Look at them, a triangle setup at the B side holding this ball.
Yeah, it's that rotation that Optic trying to stop so fast here. It's 2 kills, though, for Proton Gaming. Lucid somehow gets behind through the bottom middle of the map, though. This is not good for the side of Proton. They had a chance. It's a 2-on-2 situation now. Kuhlect playing his life here on the B side.
How was he alive for that long? Gets a little bit too greedy with it. Deadzone's nade might have just been enough to secure this round. Optic get the ball around the corner, and there's just nothing Proton can do. Kuhlect needs to value his life just a little bit more there, Tim. As we go back, we see the double kill from Lucid. But Kuhlect did so well to stay alive over there at the B stairs. You can't afford to have that life that you worked so hard to keep be neutralized by a nade that you know is coming at B stairs. Just a little bit too forward on the map, and it cost Proton deeply in that round.
Play by play, it's Optic Gaming, the world champion, previous world champion, making sure to win those pivs. Formal multiple times in situations where he should have died. And that causes Optic to win that first round. It's 3 down for Proton. They're snowballing that into this round 2. And they have control now of the entire A side of the map.
Look at Optic. They're wanting to take this fight over on the B side. Did you just see what Lucid did right there? He just popped the camouflage. That's because Optic won the gunfight so early in this game. Lucid picked up the camo and held it on his body for as long as possible. He's going to be able to get that little bit of extra value. That's something that no one else is doing in the game right now that I think has the potential to take the great teams to be some of the best teams possible. Optic's really showing that you have to adapt to the meta as time goes on. Be aware of when you can and can't get pop that camouflage. Lucid, he stays alive this entire time, basically stops Proton by himself. He was 5 kills below the scoreboard of anyone else on Optic. Now 18 and 11. Lucid is popping off on the other side of the map with that camo and red gun.
Proton make a breakthrough, though. It's that B street not being watched, and you would expect that B street to be watched, but they have the cross. And they're able to do so much damage to wipe Proton Gaming once again. Proton have one singular point here in round number 2, and Optic show no signs of stopping. It's Lucid who showcases he's still one of the best.
That was 7 kills in a row for Lucid there, well on his killing spree as he's finally shut down. But he has single-handedly demolished Proton in this round 2. That was the first 2 minutes of the game. That's the second camouflage that we're seeing right now. 40 seconds of time advantage for Optic Gaming as that second camo pops up. Unreal efficiency from them in this second round.
see if they can continue that on. It's Taulek, you said. A man that needs to play the role of an Optic killer, but that's a big green wall you're up against. Taulek does grab the ball, gets a second kill there, but once again, the last two Optic members very quick to swarm. You see the spawns coming out on the B Street side. And looking for any sort of control here is Proton Gaming, but the wall is flimsy for them. And it's TheLastShot with some ball time to his name, but he needs to get some slays on the side of Optic. That first one is formal. He'll be the first to fall, but look at the pressure. And it's going to cause the play ball to happen early, and it's TheLastShot who needs to live.
It's the delinquent duo of TriPPPeY and Lucid that are causing mayhem for Proton right now. Obviously, Lucid, always one of those top slayers in any tournament he joins, but TriPPPeY having a fantastic London thus far. He's #1 on kills per game, averaging 22 kills a game. An absolutely absurd stat line from him. He really is one of those players that's going to be constantly in the line of fire. He might not have the highest KD at the end of each day, but he loves to get into those quick engagements. He's always going to be involved in gunfights. He just has that natural sense of where to be to maximize damage.
Well, 3 down for Proton. You see the damage was maximized there for them, and it'll be ball time here for Optic Gaming. 23 seconds for the camo. Curious to see if that camo is delayed here with a clean sweep by either team. But it's ball time for TriPPPeY now. You see the push ensues. Lucid is the first one to fall, and that means Optic have to do damage on the remaining pushing players. You'll see 3 down with a number disadvantage. It's Optic Gaming once again to thwart the push of Proton.
Well, Optic Gaming's been aggressive all game. What do in that last life? They get very passive on the map. They go to Proton into pushing where they cannot go. It was formal just hiding in a corner, gets that sneaky backsmack, and they're doing it once again. They're letting Proton push up on the map, knowing that they're well positioned to capitalize on any sort of push. And now Lucid's like, hey, I want to go slay, I want to get more kills, but let me just try to win this game real fast. Camo and ball in his hands. He has that indicator right over his head, but he knows what needs to be done.
Yeah, it's only 5 points that remain. I believe Druk was the only player in position to stop this, and it'll be a clean game #1 here for Optic Gaming. They lead the series 1-0.
I mean, the second round was just a beautiful halo from Optic through and through. They played it in a way that Proton just could not overcome. And it started right out the gate with Lucid helping getting his opening kills, grabbing that camouflage and recognizing, hey, there's 3-4 players down right now. I don't need to pop this thing. He holds on to it for another 15 seconds and then pops it, and it stays alive and gets 7 more kills in a row with that camouflage red gun combination. That was really the big difference maker in round 2. It started at the very beginning of the round with Lucid's big plays off screen.
Lucid in season 1, undoubtedly the best player in the game, but looks to continue that reign here in season 3. Optic Gaming very dominant, especially in that round #2. But now we go to live fire Slayer. What are your keys to success here for a Proton? We talk about Slayers being, I don't know, the pro players say it's that 50-50, right? There's a chance for Proton to have that opportunity to win this game #2. What does Optic need to do to stop that?
You must minimize the harm that the sandbox can do to you when it's in Optic's hands. There's one thing that Optic Gaming is always better at than any other team in the HCS, and that's controlling and using the sandbox. This map has plenty to work with, right? That quantum translocator, the camouflage, the repulse at bottom mid. You cannot let these things fall into the hands of Optic Gaming. They're gonna maximize value each time, and on top of that, you have 2 of the best snipers in the game on this Optic Gaming roster. Proton, their win condition for them is do not let that sniper fall into the hands of Lucid or Formal. Go get that snipe, waste ammo. Don't even entertain the option of letting Optic win the game with the long rifle.
Well, there'll be a little bit of a delay here until that game #2, but it's Barcode from Native Gaming. And he said it on Twitter. He mentioned it. He said, we are ready for bracket play. He's ready to play, and a triple kill showcases that.
Oh, well, yeah, I love going back over, seeing the Aussie pop off. Barcode, remember, played year 1 over in Australia with Australian teams, was scouted out by teams in North America because of how good he was. Had the seal of approval from one of the GOATs in Halo, right? Ogre One said this kid needs to be picked up. You're seeing why. 11-2 to start his game with FaZe. He's making his country proud, and honestly, big tournament for the Australians this far, right? Barcode making it to winner's bracket with Native, but also the Australians getting out of pool play. Mindfreak made it all the way to top 12 minimum and could potentially go farther.
Yeah, of course, Mindfreak, 2 players on mouse and keyboard, which we're not accustomed to seeing here in Halo. But it's Frosty with the snipe here. They do get 3 down for the side of Native. Frosty looking to get that opening kill, but it's not going to happen here. A big lead here for Native. We don't expect to see this, especially against a FaZe roster who is extremely well known for having an incredible Slayer game. Looks like right now, Native had their number.
Barcode is ripping up our FaZe. He's 15-3. Quintuple positive. This man can't lose. Absurd performance from Barcode early on in this game. The thing that's scary though for Native, right? You have this big lead. This game not over yet. FaZe at any point in time, you have 4 players on this roster that will finish top 10 Halo players of all time when their careers are done. At any point in time, they can come back. If you guys want to keep tabs on that game, I believe that's over on the Delta stream, HCS Red. You can keep up with it there. Our priority at the moment, Optic versus Proton. We're into game 2, and Proton already opening up with a few slays, giving themselves this early lead.
Back to our featured match here. We talked about Slayers being favorable somewhat to those lower chemistry teams, those lower tier teams. There's levels to this, but it's LastShot showcasing that to be true here. It's a 7-4 lead so far for Proton Gaming, and a camo locked in for LastShot as well.
What have we seen from Proton early in this game that shows the success that they've had? It's reducing the sandbox of Optic Gaming. We've seen them go out of their way, make sure that QT didn't get out of hand. We've seen them get the camo. We've seen them pick up the sniper in their hands. They're reducing the ability of Optic Gaming to be explosive on the map. Can they continue to do so? Druk able to get that double kill. We need to see him step up in particular, right? It's been over a year since we've seen Druk on land with his visa issues getting into the United States. A tournament over in England, he's back on the major stages once again. It's time for him to show why he's been missing the HCS.
This will be a statement tournament if Proton and Druk are able to make something happen here, and it starts right now. A 3-kill lead thus far. The spawns come out on the B. It's TriPPPeY who needs to play his life, ends up getting pushed by LastShot, one of the fastest players in the game. LastShot comes back out, takes out Lucid, gets a double.
This is where Optic Gaming can start to capitalize, right? They have numbers advantage, and you see Proton, how separated they are on the map. Taulek all the way on the tower side while his teammates spawn on the other side. Optic are quick to take advantage. They know that they have to capitalize at any point where they get numbers. They quickly even up this game, and now taking their first lead. Fantastic work from Optic, not just playing their numbers, but understanding positions on the map and where they can find their advantages.
You see the difference too. In our last game, we were watching Native and Barcode, 15 kills for him. LastShot's popping off in this game for Proton, but Optic have kept it close the entire time. You see a very even kill category there for Optic. Lucid top center with no shields here. It's very important to get this player off of top tower, the most important position on this map, but Lucid not able to do so, ends up falling.
Well, LastShot's certainly been terrorizing the players on Optic Gaming thus far. Remember, LastShot, the champion of the FFA at Worlds last year. He was the hot free agent pickup over the offseason, and you're seeing why they went for him. But on the other side, right, the newest player for Proton, added just a week before roster lock, I should say days before roster lock for these teams. Kuhlect, not having his strongest performance, finally is able to get on that board, has his first kill. We're going to need to see him bring a little bit more consistency in the second half of this game if Proton's going to even up the series.
Kuhlect, that player who is an entry player for the side of Proton Gaming, has been working, when I talked to him, on putting that entry damage in, but also playing his life, being that first player, but also staying alive. Very difficult to do, especially against an S-tier team like Optic Gaming. You can see that so far in his stats. Last shot, though, having an incredible game. The man on your screen, 12-4 thus far, and the pace of the game tends to slow here as you look to see Proton Gaming looking for some sort of a chink in the armor.
I think Proton's messing up a little bit here by not pushing and making the play. As we see, Kuhlect finally got that sniper, and well, Kuhlect's going to be able to make a big play with that snipe bandit combination. But one thing Proton can't do right here is let Optic Gaming dictate the pushes and dictate when this game's going to start going. I'd like to see Proton be proactive on the map. Look for the angles. Let your sniper be the player that starts off this game. Instead, we're seeing, I think, Optic have a little bit too much control on the map on deciding when they want to get in their gunfights.
It might be a bit of fear as well with the structured hold of Optic Gaming. A little bit of a missed position, and you end up dying. You saw that there in the bottom center of the map. It was 2 down for Proton, but they answer back with a quick 2 down for Optic Gaming. Taulek pushes in aggressively, waiting for some members of his team to push up, but they don't push up quick enough. It's 3 down for Proton. A very important 1v1 here by Formal, but LastShot's gonna come out on top. 15-5 for LastShot.
You can say he had the last shot there. 15 kills, 5 deaths thus far. Triple positive for him. He's been ripping apart Optic Gaming on the slays, and it's just enough to keep his team in the game. I'd like to see some help from the side of Proton. LastShot certainly needs it, right? He needs his team to start getting a little bit more positive. Kuhlect's been turning around this game, right? Started off 0-7, has now been 6-4 since that moment, right? So we're starting to see it happen. They have to finish strong, though. Get yourself across this finish line. Optic Gaming, this is when they're the most deadly. It's at the end game. It's when they need to be clutch. That's when they start finding the important kills.
On the other end of things, you got Taulek, 11, 10, and 10. You love to see that assist category being a part of that many kills. Lucid finds an opening here. I love how he plays his life as well. Backs off, gets the kill. Clean kills by Optic Gaming. It was 2 down for Proton. Sniper coming up here as well shortly.
But you have to feel very good about that trade if you're Optic, right? You throw that nade, you force Proton to try to neutralize the numbers. Formal is waiting in the back line to help Lucid on that push. And all that play, right? That play happens 20 seconds ago. All of that was to get numbers to start pushing up to get control of the sniper, right? They have the numbers. They are able to find themselves in the right position. Perfect pre-aim, perfect shot. Lucid is starting to help Optic Gaming run away with this game.
It's crazy how the meta has evolved. The sniper in the hands of Lucid, but that back tower jump up in Season 1 wasn't even a factor, and you see in Season 3, it's predicted. Wait a minute, don't do it to him. Not gonna land the shot, not gonna find a head to click, but still has that sniper to work with and a 3-kill lead as well. Kuhlect, cover your face as you see Proton Gaming with an aggressive push. Lucid has an opening lane towards the bottom center, though. He'll be able to live with the snipe, and with a 4-kill lead, this is masterful by Lucid.
Lucid's just been so annoying in the perspective of Proton. He keeps moving. He hasn't stayed in the same spot for more than 5 seconds. Proton just don't know where he's at, and well, when you don't know where he's at, he's gonna get easy. Oh no!
Okay, run away.
Hey, great play, horrendous execution, but it happens. You know, sometimes you're not gonna have it go your way, but that might just cost the game. I mean, he had a free kill that just doesn't go his way.
Big game Trip, though, is gonna get a couple of kills in the feed here. He gets a double kill at a very important time in the game. They're gonna take him out, but it's still a 2-kill lead here for Optic Gaming. Formal jumps in. That's the last kill as well. The assist, and Optic Gaming close out game number 2.
What went wrong for Proton was all that work they did on the first half of the game just went out the window on the second, right? You didn't control the sandbox. The sniper got into the hands of Lucid. The sniper had some huge ramifications in the back half of that game. You are allowing the repulse to make big plays. You just can't do that on the second half, and we need to see a little bit more parity in the slays over on Proton as well. Taulek and LastShot, yeah, they're the two slayers of the team, but they can't be trying to slay that hard. You need to have a little bit more support from Kuhlect and Druk in that game. Proton, I think they're going to be very frustrated in that game, slipping away from them.
Yeah, that's the game that they had to win, right? It was a very important win for them, and like you said, the slow start from Kuhlect, I would say, was a big factor. You start that slow, you dig yourself a hole, and it's just there's no shovel big enough to climb out. And you see Lucid right there anticipating the jump on the back of tower. You love to see that because, like I said before, that jump showcased in season 1. Now everyone expecting that jump to happen.
We got some interim games to show y'all while we wait for Optic's third game of their series. Native and FaZe still going at it. This is the newest map in the HCS, right? So Interference, a remake of the rig from Halo 5, added into competition just a month ago, and so far has been a favorite of mine. Love the rotations you're going to see on this map. The big thing to know, you're going to want to control the middle hallway in that corner. We call it white corner. You can treat that as a pivot foot, and you have access to all 3 hills. Expect to see a lot of spawn traps on this map over in that back bunker area behind Renegade, and then to the forward and left of Renegade in the carbine spawns. If you can start trapping teams there, it's very easy for these games to get out of hand.
There's one X factor on this squad of FaZe, and it's on your screen right now. It's Renegade 8-1 thus far. That kill will secure potentially that overshield. If not, these next couple kills will. And you see Renegade zero fear here, trying to challenge APG. APG makes him pay for it, but it'll be FaZe once again in control, and Royal 2 getting that stagger kill is going to potentially give FaZe a triple cap.
Royal 2 needs to be aware of the carbine spawn. You see how he instantly moves his reticle to the left? What he sees on his screen is his teammates pushing up to that bunker, understanding that where the next spawn is. And what's so dangerous about Royal 2 is they have so much confidence in his ability to stay alive by himself, right? So you'll see the rest of FaZe pushing on the opposite side as Royal 2, he's been fighting the entire team, waiting for reinforcements. The reinforcements come right at the perfect time, and suddenly this trip cap could be a long-term trip cap for FaZe. They are decimating Native on the spawns.
Yeah, you see Renegade trying to peek in there. Not gonna get it. Not gonna get there in time to get that reset, but they'll cap C regardless. The spawns come out on the bunker, and now you see FaZe once again. They look to be in a flow state here. Honestly, the pressure that they're causing on the map, just pushing in tandem, has been really beneficial for the side of FaZe. The back smack, the killing frenzy. We were talking about Renegade, but we forgot about Frosty, 13-2.
I'll say it again. When this guy's career is done, he will be the greatest player of all time. I'll stand on my business. There's a reason why Frosty has been so dominant over the years. He has this just great innate sense of timing, of understanding what the right play is. He's an IGL that can top slay with the rest of them, and you're seeing him cause mayhem to the side of Native Gaming. Back to our main match, Optic Gaming and Proton going into game 3. Proton, this is our last chance. Be quick on the map, force the spawn trap at bunker, and use that white hall to facilitate your rotation. You want to be able to have access to all 3 and consistently play for trip caps. You have to knock Optic out of this game early. You cannot let this go back and forth.
Well, this OS is going to help things just a bit. It's Druk with the OS in his hands. They take out Deadzon. But a lot of damage has been done. Overshield no longer a factor. It's ripped apart by the side of Optic Gaming. So Druk has to play with normal shield. Oh my goodness, the wiggles from Formal. You can't let that happen to you, Druk.
Just ran out of bullets. You know, it happens. You just can't do anything about it. Optic Gaming, though, will use that misstep to get themselves control for the first time. I'll say, Proton, you have to be pretty happy about getting those first 40 seconds, but you can't be content, right? You have to keep playing you have to keep playing for that jugular blow of a trip cap time and time again. And Taulek, he doesn't want to step in A because he doesn't want to give away that information. But at some point, you got to realize I'm away from my team. I have to help.
Without information, Optic Gaming know where he is regardless. And Taulek now has to stay alive on the bunker side of the map. A couple insta-splodes go through. That'll take out Deadzon. You see Optic Gaming have a stranglehold on this A side. Proton trying to get all the kills that they can, but it's a TriPPPeY who stays alive in a situation where it seemed difficult. LastShot finally taking him out.
Oh, big play. He had perfect timing to get behind. They stepped in the hill to stall it out. He's able to get this double kill. And now what's most important is they also are able to capitalize and get this overshield. When we talk about the pivot foot on the map, it's this hallway, right? You want to be able to patrol it because you can get access to the carbine and the bunker spawns in very quick succession. So now Proton has this trip cap and they have a player of extra shields that's going to patrol your players off spawn. This is a horrible position for Optic Gaming to try to fight out of.
Well, LastShot's going to end up going for that melee, so he's going to get melee back, which means he doesn't have any OS to use now, but you can see that Proton Gaming have taken that control that you talked about. C-side is taken by Optic, though. LastShot doing all he can to put damage into the pushing players. TriPPPeY, the first one to go down. A killing spree for LastShot. Continuing on the dominance from that game number 2. But is it enough is the question. This is a must win for Proton here. As Optic Gaming, of course, 2-0 in the series thus far.
Druk getting aggressive on that backside, trying to stall Optic Gaming from getting over towards C so that Proton can keep scoring. The problem is they put all of their resources on that backside. There is a rotation available for the Optic to get towards Nest, but they're not taking it. We've seen it time and time again. Optic want to push up on the map in a very coordinated way through the tower side, and it's causing Deadzon to get easy double kills. They're overloading the right side of the map, trying to break in to that yellow corner and then force their way into C. It can be effective if you get the kills.
The newest member of Optic Gaming brought on this roster to bring another ring home, but he's showcasing that he's got that skill and talent so far in this game. It's a double kill for Optic. They are 3 down, though. Formal, the last player alive. Overshield coming up. The spawns come out on the bunker side. Formal output of damage needs to be max, but needs to stay alive so we can get this OS. And you see the swarm from Proton Gaming. Heatwave not going to connect, and he goes down.
This kid's 18. And he doesn't know to respect his elders yet. The way that LastShot's playing on this map, he just pushed through the middle, said, hey, I'm going to take the one-on-one, and I'm going to win it. I'm going to secure C for my team. Optic Gaming have done the same thing every life. When they get this back bunker spawn towards A, what do? They try to push out through yellow corner and give themselves the outside spawns at C. They want to play from the outside of the map inside. Proton, every time they spawn bunker, they just go through the middle of the map and just break through the middle door. They say, hey, we'll just break right away. And Optic haven't been able to do anything about it.
It's all about that confidence. You saw it there in Taulek. LastShot once again with a massive 1v1 versus Formal. It'll continue to count up the score here for Proton Gaming. Finally, it's Optic with an answer on to B, but quickly answer back is that cap onto A, and it'll be Proton continuing to score here. TriPPPeY has to stay alive in this situation. He has to anchor the white hall that you talked about.
Well, this is the first time in the game that we've seen Optic Gaming push out to the B side. The last 3 times they've been in this situation, they pushed through tower and tried to work their way to yellow corner to get to C. Now, Optic, they have a little bit more space to the left side. Use that left side. Use it as leverage to push your way into the basement. Right now, Proton they're getting kills, but they're not advancing the game state, right? Optic scoring. You're content with where you're at. Eventually, you're going to find the play where you're able to push through. Deadzon trying to be that player this time. He dies, but it's no worries. Let your player at Whitehall deal with the rotations over on the A side. It's going to be a big fight for TriPPPeY.
LastShot ends up getting the A cap, and oh my goodness, he pulls TriPPPeY down to no shields as well, and he stays alive. How do you do that? This is what I'm talking about. This is what makes Proton so just dominant in this game thus far. It's players like LastShot, 16-8, playing his life, doing damage. Optic answer back, but look at B. It's being taken already.
A little peeky from TriPPPeY right there, trying to do his best to stay alive. That's a massive fight that TriPPPeY honestly needed to win. When you don't win over there at C, you're letting Proton keep keep control of that outside, and you can see how much emphasis Optic has put on getting to Carbine to try to get that outside control. Those slays are going to be a big deal. And you see Lucid and TriPPPeY, the 1-2 tandem, able to push in, and this is where the game could change. Right now, Proton, they don't have an easy way to get into a hill. It's a trip cap for Optic Gaming, and they are suffocating Proton over in the bunker. What does Proton do?
We'll have to see. They are 3 down. Look at Optic Gaming ready for the spawns. That is insane. It's a bit of positioning just to make sure the spawns happen on the back of Engine 1, and it's Deadzon making it happen. The triple cap is going to bring this score closer. Optic Gaming look like they're in control.
They're not done. This is the win condition that Optic has been trying to set up all game. Formal doing his Clayster impression as he falls off the map, but we've seen it time and time again from Optic. They let Proton score for so long, trying to set up this particular game state to try to win the game. Unfortunately, with Formal falling off the map, they're not going to be able to have the numbers to facilitate the trip cap, but they're still scoring. Proton, this second half of the game has been tough for them.
Optic Gaming answering back. Druk, a man who has not been able to go to LAN in a long time due to visa complications, finally able to make it to London. Can he make things happen here? Gets the trade onto Lucid, but it's Optic Gaming. Almost a 100-point run here so far as they look to take their first lead in this game, but they're going to need some slays before that happens.
Taulek was able to get a kill in that 1v2, but I don't think that's going to be enough for Proton. Right now, Optic have a great situation where they can just look at this overshield. They don't necessarily need to get it right away, but just keep yourself occupied on the left and right side of the map. Get the overshield when you can, and Formal, I don't know how Formal got away with that, but perfect timing. Proton go 4 down. This is bad news bears for Proton. And Formal, look how Formal doesn't go for that trip cap. He's coming back because they want to force the spawns over at Carbine and immediately collapse. Unfortunately for Optic, that spawn doesn't quite come the way that they want it. They get that nest spawn instead, and they just weren't set up for it. The nest spawn's a perfect spawn trap, but you have to be set up for it.
Formal has the heat wave in his hands. You see a pinch onto Proton Gaming. Optic have a stranglehold, and they're not letting go whatsoever. It's Proton Gaming that needs something to happen here. Kuhlect, is he the answer? No. Formal shuts him down once again. 229 and counting here for Optic.
This is it for Proton. You got one last shot at this. And remember how much Proton was winning by in the early game? Completely different game on the second half. And Formal, maybe I thought that back damage might have been enough for him to go down, but no, that's it. Proton Gaming, there's just nothing they can do. Optic Gaming will win this series 3-0, and it's been because of the power of Optic in the power positions on the map. It was that white hall in the back half that's allowed them to have access to hill after hill and just eviscerate Proton. Fantastic game. And yeah, if you were watching that game early on, you probably thought Optics were not that good at interference. But no, the entire game, what it was for them was setting up their win condition. They wanted to force that bunker spawn trap, get the trip cap, and win in one big blow, right? It was like 2 scoring opportunities for Optic that give them the 250 points. Fantastic work from them, and fantastic first series for Optic and the LVT Halo channel. If you like the LVT Halo channel, well, let me tell you what, you can help support us in a couple ways. We do this all for free. Just up to the channel. It helps, guys. It certainly helps what we're doing out here today. We do this all for free. You know, a couple subs here and there. They certainly help us continue doing our coverage here today, but I'm sure we got other matches going on, other places, Tim. You know, we got 4 games going on at the same time. Optic wins theirs 3-0, but we have other matches to look at. FaZe up 2-1 against Native Gaming in the series right now.
FaZe, it was a tie series. They win a must-win game here to take the lead. And you saw it was Renegade and Frosty popping off in that game number 3, but we'll see what they're able to do here. In game number 4, it's SnakeBite with that camo, trying to take space on the map. APG, he's the first one to fall. SnakeBite looking crispy as he gets 2.
And FaZe right now, this is the setup that they, I think, need to win. You don't want to let Native go up 2-0 in this game. When a team goes up by 2 hills, at a King of the Hill, suddenly it starts to become a game about time rather than score. And for FaZe and Native, you want to keep this at 1 apiece, right? Try to keep it as close as possible.
All 3 down for Native Gaming. It's an opportunity for FaZe, but FaZe are 3 down as well. So a 1v1 situation. Frosty with the shock in his hands, and he takes out Barcode, who's on a heater today. That's a big kill out of Frosty. Shock rifle will be down though, as well as the grapple, and Gilkey will pick that up. And it'll be potentially some hill time here for Native. Drought screen is up as well. I'm sure Gilkey will let his teammates know about that. But he's going to aggress with this grapple. Very important to take FaZe off their spawn. Do as much damage as possible. They take a little time out of that hill. But will that come back to bite them is the question.
Gilkey's been holding it down for Native Gaming at that backside with the shock rifle. Renegade's looking for him, but Gilkey's put him in a blender. He's like, where is Gilkey? And by the time he figures it out, APG's already come on the help. This has been fantastic from Native to get control of this hill. Now it's just about maintaining this control. FaZe is going to have one good opportunity to break this. Native, you hold off for one more hill, you can make this a 2-hill game and start making this more about time.
My goodness, Renegade with a massive win onto Mikwen. It's 4 down for Native Gaming. And a camo now for Renegade. A perfectly timed 4 down. We'll give FaZe the advantage here in this next fight. But right now, you gotta look at Renegade. It's up to him to make a play here. Some damage comes out, cutting the angle on the bottom A. Not able to hit enough shots, and Mikwen takes them out pretty cleanly. And that'll be a cap for Native. It's tied 1-1.
Yeah, a little bit of an uncharacteristic miss from Renegade there. Usually he's going to hit that shot and just be able to use that camo advantage to win it. But APG dodges, and well, you can see that it cost Renegade's life. The problem for Native is that they just haven't been able to finish the play, right? They've had great moments where they get the big kill. It looks like they're set up right. But then we see FaZe just have that last player trickle in. When it's the last player alive, they're finding the big trade. They're finding the big kill that prevents Native Gaming from being truly set up. And APG's on a long flank. He better play this fast because he could be giving FaZe the spawns that they want. And if he doesn't win while he's on this flank, he's really just not helping Native at all.
Yeah, some of that damage on bottom tower, not going to do too much.
Oh, I love that.
But he does
though.
Flank. This is beautiful.
Oh,
a double kill out of him.
Double kill.
Yeah, that might be one of the best routes you'll see from APG. He let them be aware that, hey, I'm at C, try to pull that player out of white, jump through the middle of the map. That's great understanding of what you can and can't get away with, and it helps him get the double kill in the hill.
Renegade, though, on that top glass area, raining down fire. SnakeBite will clean up that kill, and it's Frosty on the bat ledge. What do you do if you're Native in this scenario? You can't cross whatsoever. Damage is being done. Barcode does make it through towards the elevator side, though. I'm not sure if FaZe are ready for that, but Roll 2 on the bottom of tower looking for an opening on the APG. That body shot will do enough damage. FaZe gets a cap, all while this is happening, and camo coming up. With the numbers advantage, FaZe have an opportunity to get this camo as well.
Frosty said it's all or nothing. He jumps out. He's committed at that point. He had to hit the shot, and well, hit the shot he does. FaZe has quickly turned this game in their direction, and Frosty's doing Frosty things. This is prime Frosty, and you better watch out, Gilk. Ooh, just below the head. Not going to be enough for Frosty's triple.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about Frosty before. I do feel like he's one of those players that, you know, shows up when he's needed, right? He's better than all of us playing normally, but there's this switch that he flips, and when the lights are turned on and he's playing like this is where FaZe can win tournaments. You got Renegade and Royal 2 and SnakeBite on the squad as well. At any moment, any of these players turn up, it's just a different FaZe, and you can see that right now. Close to capping hill number 3.
Renegade trying to play sneaky. He's caught out, but wins the gunfight, doesn't care. That's what I love about these players on FaZe, right? Is, yeah, sometimes they're not going to make the perfect play, and the opponents are going to know, but the gun skill that they have in combination of their Halo IQ is what makes them so dangerous and why they're so hard to beat, even when they haven't been looking their best, right? But the last month of online competition hasn't been going great for them. They're still going to be a dangerous team at any point in time. They're gonna push you to a game 5, and you're going to have to clutch against them.
Well, FaZe looking in prime position to close out this series with this win here, but Looks like with 1 minute and 15 seconds left, they look to be playing time at the moment. Well, they get in the hill now with 4 dead. This is an opportunity to make sure that this hill is at least in a position to get taken if they get pushed. Looks like another 2 dead here. Renegade gets the kill onto Barcode. That'll be hill number 3 right there. And FaZe take the lead by 2. And this could be it.
One thing I would have liked to see from FaZe right there, get that hill captured almost all the way, then jump out of it and try to milk off as much of that clock as possible. I think that's the only way that could have been a little bit better. But right now, FaZe has just completely shifted the momentum of this game. It was native when we came into it, and it's been all FaZe since. Every player from FaZe, I feel like, has taken their turn at putting on a show. And it's Royal 2's turn. You best be coming up. He's going to get a ninja. Oh, bro, he was going for the 1080 ninja.
But FaZe are having fun. You love to see it. Frosty, 19 and 10. You love to see domination, 16 and 9 out of Renegade. And like I said, this is what makes this roster capable of winning every event. They just have to show up. They have to show up like this, and we're seeing that here against Native at least. Native, we saw Barcode having an incredible Slayer game, but oh boy, we have to shift our focus.
Tusk has a sniper. Shopify Rebellion, these are the games that you have to win. When everything's against you, you don't have snipe, you don't have a power-up, you have to make that happen. 49.
49. Surprised! Oh my goodness, the Spectre wins the 1v1! That is the 1v1 that you live for right there! And Spectre closes it out to give them a victory in the series.
Oh, it looks like that was a game reset, so they must have had a crash or something, because I think there was like 5 kills in that game. Man, that's a rough one to start off a new game. Oh, Suppress almost got the job done, but he had no business almost getting the job done in that gunfight. He was down early, so Spectre just gets the shot off in time, and it'll be 1-1 in that series as we see FaZe win theirs 3-1.
Jeez.
And now we will shift our focus completely to that Shopify and Cloud9 series. That'll be our next series up. But fantastic work from FaZe getting that job done. Look at the interference game, 250 to 86.
Yeah.
Domination.
It's crazy. I think they're playing well, and obviously, you know, Native had their moment there in game number 2. Barcode obviously having an incredible game. It's good to see what he's capable of, but oh baby, look at that, Tools. We got FaZe versus Optic Gaming, the first, I would say, big test for both of these teams, and of course it happens as always in the winners semis. I can't wait to see that match.